So this is where I left off last week with no, this is not where I left off. This is where I left off last week with the partitions. And today we are gonna take this partition plan and we're gonna give it to a furniture designer, and then we're gonna go work in the role of the furniture designer. And so let's look at the plan here. So this is the goal to get this furniture into place here. And you can see I've got two colors going on here. I have a cyan, and that's millwork, really. These are just counters in here and in these various locations. And then the rest is furniture. So there's a break room over here, and this is a training room. This is a gigantic conference room over here. This is the executive office, and then there's a couple other smaller offices. There's another conference room in this corner, and then out here there's a whole bunch of systems furniture. So I want to just show you some of the systems furniture here, so you get an idea of what's going on. It's always good to know what it is that you're drawing. So let me see if I can separate these. Well, I can't really, but so that's fine. Okay, so first, down over here, there are these cute little chairs, and they've got little footrests here. And those chairs are these right here. They have this little screen, and if you're, just popping into the office, you don't really need a desk, but you need access to the Wi-Fi and do something on your laptop. That's what these guys are. And they are right over here and over here. So those are, I'm blanking on what they're called right now, but it'll come to me in a minute. And then down here, this is a six pack of workstations. So there's six workstations here. One, two, three, and then there's a divider panel here that is separating on the other side of the panel. There's three more, four, five, and six. So there's six workstations, and they're all connected together by this long panel right here. And this panel gets wired to power and data, and then the power feeds through this workstation and go or travels through this workstation and then feeds each one of these desks here. So each one of these gets power and data if they need it, or phone if you're still using a landline type phone. So those and these are called six packs because there's six workstations in one thing here. So those six packs are here. Here, there's six of them here, and then there's six of them over here. And then these are different kind of workstations. These are a little more private, right? They're like U-shaped stations here. And these would be called a four pack because there's four of them. One, two, three, four. Here's another six pack. Here's another four pack over here. So let's see, what else have we got here? I'm not sure what that's all about. So, okay, so these and these are little private, conference or phone booths. They're little soundproof booths. You may have seen these in the past. And when the office culture is really, really open like this is, so every once in a while you need to have a private space to, have a private phone conversation, or maybe you need to collaborate with a colleague one-on-one. So that's what these are, these little private booths here. And those booths are here. So there's three of them. There's two little ones here, and then there is a little larger one here. It kind of looks like a lounge chair in here. So there's three here and three here. So that's what those guys are right there. And then Okay, so this is touchdown space, and this is an L-shaped one, and this one here, this one's just in a line, and this is just banquette seating. I'm sure you've seen this kind of seating in like restaurants. If you're not familiar with it, it's called banquette seating, and it's just a long strip of bench seating, and then they put tables up next to them, and you can move the tables so you can either be working in a group of two or four, and then you put both of them together, and then you can work in six or eight. So it allows you flexibility in working with your colleagues and in sort of an open environment. And in restaurants, obviously they use them like crazy. So these are called touchdown spaces. So and those occur right here. So they're what we're using are little round tables here, but this is the banquette seating here, and then there's a panel behind it, and then there's banquette seating on this side, and then there's banquette seating on this side, so you can get, you know, four work groups area there. And then generally speaking, often, not in this particular case, but very often underneath the banquette seating, like right here, there's power and data, so you can power your laptop. You can just plug it in underneath the seat, and your cord comes up to the table, and then you can work off, off the your laptop is powered as you're working. Yeah, so I think that's, let's see, what else have I got here? Uh, there's a blurry picture, but another instance of banquette seating. This one is an L shape, and then here's the panel that's running behind it. So in our case, we're just going to have a long bank of banquette seating with a panel behind it, and then more banquette seating on this side of the panel, on the far side of the panel. Oh, yeah. And so now this is for a group, a group that needs to look at some monitors or teleconferencing. There's a camera up here, and then you get a group of four or six people around a table, and then there's people, in Atlanta or Paris or wherever you're working, and you do conference calling on these things. Here's another example of it. So it's a table that comes out, you all sit at the table, and then you've got some big screens here, and then you can do teleconferencing up here. All right, and those are located. Here's one right here, and then there's some lounge seating back here in case you need to have some extra people that might be, interested in being involved here. And then there is another one up here. Okay, so I just wanted to give you this just as an idea of what's going on the, what all this furniture here is. So so the entrance is here, the reception and desk is here, and then off to the right, this is two little waiting areas. So there's an area rug here, and then two sofas with a a coffee table or table of some sort that's between them. So we've got two instances of waiting over here. These are training tables in here, and there is a little podium for someone who is, running the show, running the training table, or running the training show. And then this is a lot of furniture in here, but this is a fairly large office, so there might be a lot of tables in the break room. Now, this is just ridiculous, the amount of counter space here. I don't know if you can see this, but this is just wackadoodle. This is just really, really a lot. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just have this much just along here. And then what we can do, or what you can do, is just uh, put some, tables, smaller tables here, maybe two people, or you know what, even touchdown space or banquette seating over here with some tables would be nice. So I'm going to give, I want to give you a little bit of freedom with some of this stuff because a lot of it is, pretty much all set here. So this break room definitely, uh, definitely is a candidate for that. All right. So this is our goal. As the furniture designers, we get from the interior designer the walls, right? The AutoCAD drawing with all the walls. And then we take their drawing and then we start plopping our stuff as furniture designers. We start plopping our stuff onto their plan. So, all right, here we are. I am on my partition plan right here. And let me go into model space here. And I am the interior, I'm now the furniture designer, and I've just gotten a plan the from the furniture from the interior designer, and I am now going to import this into my drawing. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start a brand new drawing. So I'm going to come over here to new and use the COD interiors template. I'm just going to start a new project, a new drawing. And I am going to save it. And I will call this, I'm putting this in my Project 10 folder so that all of my files are together. So I have my partition plan in here, and I'm also going to put in my furniture plan. So I'm going to call this furniture plan. I'll just, yeah, furniture plan. Okay, so I have my furniture plan, and I am going to bring in the partition plan into my drawing. So the first thing I want to do is I want to create a new layer for the partition plan to come in on. So let me open up my layers proper or my layer palette here. And I'm going to call this XREF, XREF. And that stands for external, X as in external reference. And then I put a little dash next to it, and I'm going to call this my partition plan. So, or I'll call it partitions. So remember, I'm the furniture designer, and I just got from the interior designer the partitions. So I'm starting my own drawing. We just started a new drawing, our own drawing, furniture plan. And then I am going to import the interior designer's partition plan into my drawing. So I've got a new file, a new layer called XREF partitions. And I'll just make that current. And now I am going to attach that partition plan to my furniture plan. And as in AutoCAD, there's many ways to do things, but there's two ways to attach a plan, and that is the first one is called attach. And all you need to do is type ATTACH, attach, and it is asking me to select a reference file, the external reference file that I want to attach to this project. So let me go over and find. All right, now I'm over at my project 10, and let me go over to drawing files, DWG files here. My file type here was set to nothing, so it wasn't showing anything. So I want to bring in the interior designer's partition plan so I can use it to help me place the furniture. So there is the partition plan, and I'm just going to hit open. And I get this attach external reference dialog box here. Okay, so this is important. So there's a couple different ways to attach a external reference. There is a plain old attachment and there is an overlay. And I'll talk about both of them, but first we'll start with attachment. So I'm going to make sure that attachment is selected. And then over here, I can choose the scale. You may want to reduce the scale of of the external reference. I certainly don't want to do that. So I want to just leave this, my X, Y, and Z coordinates all at one so that there's no scaling taking place here. And then my insertion point, and this is the important part. So I'm going to uncheck this specify on screen. I don't want to specify on the screen. I want AutoCAD to select and put it in at exactly 0, 0, 0. So it's the where the X and where the X and the Y coordinates all come together on my drawing. I don't know if you remember way back in CAD 1, literally on the first day we talked very briefly about coordinates, and there is a 0, 0, 0 point in AutoCAD. So I want to insert my drawing at that 0, 0, 0 point. Then there is a path type, and mine is set to relative path, but there are three different kinds of paths here. One is the full path, which has the full location of the file. Relative path is the most flexible. AutoCAD kind of looks around in different locations for the external reference file, and then there's no path. But I'm going to just leave mine on relative path here. I don't want to rotate it, so I'll leave that at 0. And I want my units to be inches. And then I will just hit OK and cross my fingers. And let's see. Oh, there it is. Nope, but for some reason I have two sets of walls in my drawing there, but that's okay. So there it is. There is my partitions or my interior designer's partitions. And when I select this, it everything highlights, not just a single line that on my drawing, everything highlights because this is an external reference and everything is connected. So we're not going to be making changes to the walls or moving doors or anything like that. That is all done by our interior designer. We're not addressing any of that. So that is why when I'm on here, I can't really edit it. But if I were my interior designer, let me go back to my partition plan here. And first, I don't even know why I put those up there, but I'm going to erase them. So I'm back on my partition plan, and I could, let me just, I don't know, I'm just going to do something here. Um, let me just, I'm just going to copy this door. I'm just doing this just to show you. So I'm going to put this door here. Let me trim this. Okay, so for whatever reason, I put this I put the second door in here, and let me just save. And when I go to my furniture plans, so now I'm back in the shoes of my interior design, my furniture designer here. I am getting a message here, and it's saying that an external reference was modified. Would I like to reload the partition plan right here? And if you want to reload it, you can just click on this. But there's also a little button, a little checkbox here that says compare the changes. And if I click on compare the changes, I usually don't click this, but I'm just going to click it just to show you all. And then I reload the partition plan. The partition plan has gotten reloaded, and you can see over here what AutoCAD has done is it's given me some revision bubble right here around my around this portion of wall, and it's telling me what's changed. You can see that a door has been added here, and then the length of this wall has changed, and then the red here is indicating that this was trimmed out. So it's telling me what the change is. So if the designer gives me the updated the updated partition plan, and I reload it onto my I reload it into my furniture plan. I can see what partitions have changed. So I'm done with this. There's a little thing right here for external reference compare, and I'm just going to close it. And there it is. There is uh, my change here. So there is another note here for unreconciled new layers, and I'll talk about that in a minute. I'm just going to close this right now. So, all right, you may also have noticed that the XREF here is kind of grayed out. It's a little more dim than than it would be for the regular line work. So that is on purpose. And if I go over to my insert ribbon here, there is a section here on reference. And by the way, this is the other way that you can attach the external reference rather than typing on the keyboard attach. There is an attach button right here, and that gets us that same thing that we did before. But what I wanted to call to your attention is the little reference, this little thing right here. This gives me some external reference fading. And right now mine is set to 50%, and I can pull the slider and make it, more faded. You can see here, or I can make it less faded. I can set the fading to 0, and then it just looks exactly like a regular AutoCAD. It's still external reference, and when I click on it, all of it highlights, but it looks, like all the regular line work. But I'm going to put mine back to 50, and I think you can type in here. So I'm going to set mine to 50%. So I just want to work a little bit on the dulled floor plan so that all of my stuff pops out as I'm working. Okay. So good. Now let me go back to my home ribbon and let me look at my layer properties here. So, whoa. All of a sudden, I have a lot of layers here. And some of these layers are grayed out. So you can see that these are all of my regular layers that are in my in my drawing. When I started this up, it came preloaded with all of these layers and a couple more down here. This puts all of my layers in alphabetical order. So I've got P fixture, and then it's going to partition plan down here, and then viewports and XREF. So all of these grayed out layers, let me widen this a little bit so you can see. All of these layers here are external reference layers. These are the layers that are contained in my furniture plan over here, or my partition plan. Sorry. The wait, so let me start that again because I don't want to confuse you. So these layers are the layers that are contained within my partition plan. The partition plan that the interior designer gave us, the furniture people. So you can see that they are named a little bit differently. They begin with the file name, partition plan. And sure enough, our file name is partition plan up here. Let me see. Wait, let me just see if I could get. Okay, I wanted to get a little highlighter here so you can see my cursor a little better. So our layers are named with the file name, the partition plan, and then a vertical line, and then the name of all of the layers. And these have all the layers that we used or had on our partition plan. Now you might also notice that we have this layer tree over here on the left, and that has not really been anything that we've used before. In fact, I don't even think it exists unless you start using external references. So there are, for right now, I have all highlighted, and it is showing me all of the layers in my drawing. So my layers and the external reference layers. I can go to all non-XREF layers, and if I click on that, now I'm only seeing these are just the layers in my drawing, in my furniture plan drawing. All used layers are layers that I have something on, and then I have unreconciled new layers. So what does that mean? So when I bring an external reference into my drawing, it is loading up all of these layers from my partition plan. And I may not be aware of that. So when I got that message down in the lower right, AutoCAD was telling me, hey, Paul, you have some new layers that are in your drawing. Do you want to look at them or do you want to deal with them in any way? And I know that they're in there. I don't necessarily need to look at them, but what AutoCAD wants me to do is to reconcile them, and that means I need to at least tell AutoCAD, yes, they're there, and yes, I have seen them. So what I need to do is I need to select them all. So I'm just hitting Control A to select all of them, or you can just select the top one, hold Shift, and select the bottom one to select them all. These are my unreconciled new layers. And then I'll right click and here it is, reconcile layers. And I'm just gonna, or reconcile layer, and boom, it has reconciled the layers. I've told AutoCAD, yes, these layers belong in this file or in this drawing. And you can see that the unreconciled layer option here in the tree has disappeared. Now, there's also XREF down here, and if I click this little plus here, it is showing me the XREFs for the partition plans. So these are only the external reference layers for my partition plan. Now later you can add multiple external references to your drawing. And sometimes you have two or three or four external references in your drawing, and they will line up right down here, and you can select any one of them to see the layers, if for whatever reason you need to. All right, so I am for now, I'm just going to select all non-XREF layers. I don't really need to see those layers in my layer palette, and I only want to deal with the layers that are in my drawing right now, particularly the furniture layers as I'm placing furniture. Okay, so let's close this. Let me go back to my home ribbon, and let me deselect that, and let's start in. Um, One thing that I don't need to do is I don't need to see all these dimensions. They might be in your way. They might be bothering you. So you can leave them if you want. It's not going to hurt anything either way, but I'm going to freeze them. So I am just going to go to my little freeze button here, and I'm going to just choose one of these dimensions, and I am just getting rid of my dimensions just because I don't want to see them. That's the only reason. I don't need to see them. All right, let's see. Where shall we start? I'm gonna start in this executive office over here. And he or she has got a big desk over here, and then there has a built-in credenza back here. And I'm gonna start with the credenza, and then I'll move to the desk. Um, so I am gonna add this on a millwork layer. This is shown in cyan, but I think our millwork layer is yellow. Traditionally, I think it's yellow. And then I'm going to put all the furniture on the furniture plan here. Um, so the way this is set, the way this is drawn is that there is 4 feet of credenza back here and 4 feet of credenza back here, and then I'm just going to connect the two of them. So that's my plan in doing this. So let's start with the millwork. and draw this over here. So let me do a little bit of um, making sure I've got everything going here the way I want it. So I've got my O snaps set, and I want to be on polar tracking. So I want to make sure I have these polar tracking settings set. Mine's at 297. I think that that'll be fine. So I'll leave it on that. And let me just double check my tracking settings. And I want to make sure I'm using track using all polar angle settings. So we talked about that last week, and I just want to make sure that that's highlighted. All right. So now let me draw this credenza. So it's going straight across. I mentioned that it was 4 feet. So I'm just drawing a little line that's 4 feet. I can make it like 5. Maybe I'll make it 5 feet. Think that's going to be a little better. And then another line here that follows this wonky 297-degree angle or whatever it is. So I'm going to come up here or 117 degrees, and I'll make this also 5 feet. There we go. And then I'll just connect the two, and voila, there is my credenza. And really, if I to draw it properly, really what I really should do is I should draw the whole thing. The whole piece of millwork. Okay, so the our millworker will build this thing and then probably in pieces, probably in 3 pieces, and then they will transport it to the site and then install it. Okay, so now I've got a desk and let me open up uh my blocks here. Let me go to furniture. Let's hope I can find this. So there's an office furniture folder here under furniture in your CAD blocks. There is office furniture, and let me open that up. Hopefully, I've got everything in here I need. Well, yeah, here's that cute little chair we're going to be bringing in. So here is a desk, a 36 by 72 desk, and I'm going to bring that in. And let me just make sure I've got rotation turned on. I do. So I want to bring this desk in and I want to rotate it just so that it is parallel with the back of this this thing right here. And to do that exactly, let me just bring it in. I'm gonna put it right at the corner here, and then I'll rotate it down and align it with that corner there. And that now set that desk exactly the same as this little face of my credenza. And now I can bring this in. I generally like to have it like 4 feet away from the you know what? Let me do it this way. Let me do it properly. So I'm just offsetting 4 feet, and then I'm going to move this to there. And I want to put it on my furniture layer. So I'll put it on iFern. And in fact, I'll make iFern my current layer. And I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but there is a button here called Make Current. And if I click on Make Current, I can choose any layer I want, like this one, and boom, it automatically changed my layer, my current layer to whatever it was that I changed, that I selected. So this was on the iFurniture layer and made my iFurniture layer current. Okay, let's give this person a task chair. And I'm gonna rotate it so it lines right up. And I like to move it back just like an inch or so. Just, I'm just eyeballing this. And some guest chairs. I think this is a guest chair right here. And I'm going to put that like that. And then I want them to be like, I want it to look as professional as possible. So like, I'm going to do like a mirror image of this one. So I'll just do mirror here. And my mirror line will just be the middle of the desk from the midpoint of the desk here to the midpoint of the desk here. Racehorse objects. No. Now I've got two chairs. So, okay, so I got that. Yada yada yada. Let's just move over to this office over here. I've got this is probably a middle manager, so they're probably not going to get the super big desk, the 36 by 72. I'll give them the 30 by 60 desk. Because in office culture, let's face it, there is a hierarchy that they have, and it includes desk furniture, believe it or not. So I'm rotating this so that they line up with this back wall. Now, when I am placing furniture, what this is case goods, so this is furniture that can move around. It's not attached to the wall. So I always want my case goods to be just, an inch or so away from the wall. It's not on the wall, it's just a squiggle off the wall. That's how we show, that's how we differentiate case goods from millwork, which is attached to the wall, or systems furniture, like the workstations. They sometimes are attached to the wall. So whenever you're drawing case goods like this here, you want to make sure that your case goods never touch the wall. It's not this credenza is not bolted to the wall, so we don't want it to touch the wall. Just as good design. And I want to give them a chair. And rotate it. There we go. And I just like to pull it just just a smidgen away. And then this person also gets two task chairs. So I'll put one here. And then I will mirror this one. Oop, that didn't mirror. I goofed on that one. Those are maybe a little more. Let me make these a little less severe. Okay, so there is that guy, and you can. I'm not gonna. I'm certainly not gonna redraw that desk, so you can just go from one office to the next and move the furniture. And wait, does that furniture even go there like that? Yeah, I guess it does. All right. Um, let's look at this conference room here. So I have a really big table there. I would say that table, the door is 6 feet. The door is 6 feet wide, and this looks like it's a little wider. This is probably a 7 foot table. So let's put in a 7 foot diameter table. We choose diameter, call 7 feet. and then put in a chair. What kind of chair is in here? Well, I'll just choose a chair. And then I'll just, how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 2, 3, 4. Well, let's try. And I know you guys know polar arrays by now, so I'm not going to really get into it. What if I put in 10? All right. Now, you know what? I think that table's too small. So maybe an 8-foot table is the way to go here. Maybe even a 9-foot table. Well, there's 10. I'm going to put 10 in. All right. And then we have over on this wall here, there is a credenza. And, that is running the full length. So credenzas are usually 12 in or 2 feet. But in this case, whatever this is, we're making our credenza exactly this length. So I am just starting right at this corner here, and I'm pulling perpendicular, and then I am going to draw the entire credenza. And just like this back here, the credenza goes on the millwork layer. So I'm going to do just match properties and select the millwork there. Okay. What else? There's a little screening room here or a prep room here with some millwork in it. I'll let you do that. There is a training table or training tables over here. Oh, you know what? You know what I didn't show y'all is, oh, so okay. I don't know how I got 12 chairs in here. Maybe I guess I used. So I've loaded this up on Blackboard so that you don't have to do what I just was doing, which was just kind of doing like flying by the seat of my pants here. I have with my messy chicken scratch here, I called out all of the furniture here. So you don't have to guess. It's all here. So I've got this desk, the 8-foot diameter table, so just a general chair, and so you could just use this guy as your guide here because this is going to help you. All right, so I'm at my training tables, and I've got these are smaller tables. They're 2 feet by 5 feet, and I am gonna put a couple of those in here. So I'm just gonna do a rectangle that is 5 feet by 2 feet, and then I'll just rotate it. And I want to rotate it on that 27 degrees there. So, all right, I want to get rows in here, and if I look, the starting point, what I used as starting point was this pier right here. I started this training table right near that pier. So I'm gonna move this guy. You know what? Actually, before I move him, where are the small chairs? Let's see, what chair did I say here? a general chair. So is this the general chair? This is a general wing chair. Oh, here it is. Okay. I'll just use this guy here. So I'm doing this before I rotate it because it's a lot easier to place stuff for me like this. Okay, so there is one desk or training table and the chairs, and I'm going to rotate this along that 27 degrees. Then I'm going to move this guy to this pier. Not on the pier, like I said, we just want to bring it close but not touching. And then these are in banks of three, so I'll just copy my row like that. And and then there's 5 foot spacing between them. So I am gonna copy all of this stuff and I'm gonna go up 5 feet and another 5 feet. So 5 feet and 5 feet is 10 feet. Or you know what, you could do it this way. There's a lot of ways you could do it, but get another row there. And then let me copy this row down 5 feet, 5 feet. I think that's it. And then there's a little podium over here that is 24 by 24. So I want to move a little faster because I'm afraid that I'm putting you all to sleep. I mean, I hope that I hope that I'm not, but so so over here I have a this is a media wall right here, and I don't know if you've seen these, but they open up, it can look like paneling. It's nice and closed, and then it opens up, and you can have there's TV screens back there, or a regular screen, or chalkboard, or whiteboard, and all kinds of alternate things that you can do to, with when you're working on, some project or something. So that is my media screen right there, and that also I will put on my millwork layer, and I will also just close it off. I just want to show the whole thing. All right. So let's look at the kitchen here. So I've got a refrigerator that is going to go here, and then I'm going to have millwork running along this wall here. And the refrigerator, I think what I'll do is I'll just make this, oops, let me go on to my millwork layer here. I want to leave, I don't know, probably 3 feet. So I'm just going to O-track over 3 feet and then go straight up. I'll put my ortho on for this. I'll go up 2 feet for the cabinet. A base cabinet is 2 feet deep, virtually always. No, sometimes more. And that is certainly enough for our millwork. And we can put a sink in there, and that is certainly going to be enough. You probably get 2 or 3 microwaves in there, refrigerator over here, and I'm going to let you put in furniture. You can follow the furniture that I showed, or you can do your own thing in here. But let's just get in, at least, 12 or 15, maybe 20 seats for people to have lunch in here. But I really want to move on to the systems furniture in the middle. Okay, so let me pull this back up. And I think I'll start with this six benching group, the six pack here. And when I'm placing workstations, what you want to do, if possible, is you want to place the workstations near either a wall or a column. So in my case here, I'm placing these workstations near this column here, and the reason is that I can bring electric from the column, it can come down through the column and then whip into the workstation. So there would be a cable, literally, that comes out of the column, and then it's a flexible cable, and it comes out of the column and then goes into the workstation, and then it travels within the workstation and then goes along the spine. Oops. Goes along the spine here, and then that power powers each one of these six workstations in the six pack. So when you can, you should place your workstations next to a column. So I've got one. Ugh, I'm too touchy with my mouse today. I've got one here. This one here is not at a column. So what happens is there needs to be a power pole. So power is up in the ceiling, and then this pole extends up to the ceiling, and then it comes down, and it's either here or here or here. I As a designer, they're not my favorite thing. I don't like having these poles, periodically located in on my plan. So the other option is to come through the floor. And what they do with they literally drill a hole through the floor, through the concrete floor or wood floor, whatever it is, and then they come up with power, and then that whips into the spine of the workstations, and then powers the four workstations. And if you are on campus and you go into 3019, take a look. Just stick your head under the first desk, and you'll see it. There's a cap and a silver whip, or a core silver whip. It's called a whip, actually, and it's a flexible conduit, and it comes out of the floor and then goes into the workstation. Maybe it's black in that location. It's either black or silver. So anyway, so we want to be, when you can, be thinking about how you're going to power these, because those guys want power. All right, so let's see here. What have I got? So this WS bench is that first one. So I'm gonna come in here. I'm on my millwork layer, which I don't want to be. And oops, let me go back onto my polar tracking here. And I want to be right on that angle there. So also when you're placing furniture, you want to be thinking about, is there enough space for people to circulate around? You don't want this too close to this wall, because then people are going to be bumping into, this poor guy over here. So you should be thinking about that. And this is on the wrong layer. So I'm going to put my systems furniture on iFern 2. So there are two furniture layers on our template, and generally what I will do is I will put case goods like desks and credenzas, things that are not attached to anything. I will put those on one of the furniture layers, and then things like systems furniture, workstations, I will put those on the other. So I'm putting this on my iFern 2 layer. So I'm making that my current layer. And I've got, I'm not going to place everything here. I just want to try to get at least one of everything in here. So I've got uh, this guy. I've got another instance of him. over here. Oop, more or less, I think like this. And I'm eyeballing it just to make sure that people can get through here. I don't want, and enough aisle space over here. There's a 4-pack that is going, I think, right over here, and that is here it is, I think. Yeah, the 6x8 4-pack. And I'm gonna rotate this into place. Make sure that I'm on my polar tracking so I snap to the right angle. And then I'm gonna move carefully right in between these two columns here. Comme ça, just like that. All right. Um, Over here, this is the video conferencing area, and there is a video conferencing group right here. And I will put this right there. Maybe I'll move it up a little bit. And oh, let's get the guys over here, those private booths. Let's see if I can find them. Touchdown. Oh, here they are. The three enclosed. Okay, they're calling them away spaces. This is probably Steelcase furniture here. I think Steelcase calls them away spaces. So let me put one in and get him on the right angle. So now when you're placing this, notice there's a door over here. And what I don't want to place this like this because there's no way for this guy to get in there. So I will put this one back here. And then let me put in another one here. I'm rotating it. And then I want this one to be here. And really what I want is I want them to line up. So I think what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to take this and I'm going to move it right here so that the two of them are just right in line with each other. This I think is like the door mechanism right here. And then I'll move this up along that 27 degrees. So as we're working, we are being cognizant of that 27-degree angle because we want all of our furniture to line up on that bizarre angle that our designer insisted that we do. That we do. What else? The Brody chairs. So those chairs I couldn't think of the name of. They were called Brody chairs. And here it is. Yeah, it is Steelcase. So let me grab one of them and put that right there. And I think that I will, because this is not, well, because it's Steelcase, I'm just going to leave it on the system store. I'm going to leave it on furniture too. Let me copy it up. Oh, I moved it instead of copied it. And then I want another pair over here, but if I'll just take these and mirror them right in the midpoint of that, just like that. And then I have another set over here. I could redraw them, or I'll just take These I'll copy from the midpoint of this one here to the midpoint over here. I've got four. Now, if it were me, if I were doing this, I would probably put like a planter here or maybe a tree or something. You know, if you want to do that, I wouldn't object to that at all. And what else? Oh, let's look at the touchdown lounge seating. I think that goes right over here. So the touchdown seating is, I saw it. Here it is. Touchdown seating is here, and it's going to go near this area here. Let me go back, put my polar tracking back on to get my 27 degrees. There it is. And I need another one on this side. So when I put this in, what I don't want to do is I don't want to butt them up like this because that is I have two walls next to each other here, and that's just a waste. It can just be one, this wall here. We just need one of them, not two of them next to each other. So I'm just going to move it so that they are butted up right on top of each other. I think I'm going to move it so they're butted up on top of each other. There we go. So there, and then I've got this, let me move it right close to the column. So then I can come down through this column, through the meat of the column over here, and then come out with some electrical and then boink, whip right into this panel here. And then I can have power underneath my seats for someone to attach their laptop. Okay, yada, yada, yada. Let's just look over here and see what we've got. So this is just shelving over here, running around here and here. 18-inch deep shelving in this room, and then 25-inch deep shelving in this room here. So just place that in. Use your designer's best judgment here. I don't want to spend too much time drawing all of this. I will draw the reception desk, and let's just draw this furniture over here as well. So that lounge seating is a 10 by 14 area rug. So let's first draw a 10-foot by 14 area rug. And let me rotate it. And then I've got a sofa. So let me see if I can find a sofa in here. Hope I got one in here. That's kind of like a love seat sofa. Is there a bigger one? I love how everything here is so hard to find. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? Because I want to get let's look at seating here. Gonna find a decent sofa, hopefully. Okay, here we go. I'll do this guy. You do whatever sofa makes you happy. That sofa's making me happy. So let me move him down a little bit. And I want to get a coffee table in here. So let me, and the coffee table is 24 by 48. Let me find the midpoint. I just like to be exact. Oh, I want I want my coffee table right in the middle of my rug. And then I can move this guy up a little bit. I'm paying attention to my angle. And then I want another one over here, exactly the same distance. So what I'll do is I'll mirror. That always gives me exactly the opposite. Boom. Good. And then I need another one, or let's move this arrangement up here, more or less like that, I think, more or less. And then let's copy that same arrangement straight down. Okay, conference or the reception desk. All right, bear with me here. I don't have it open, so let me go over and let me find it on my in Blackboard. I do have it somewhere in here. Bear with me. Go to reception desk. Oh, because it wasn't fully loaded, but it is now. Okay, so the reception desk, I don't know why it was hidden, but here's a reception desk plan sketch. If you can open it here and then download it. Okay, so let me see if I can rotate this. So here's our reception desk. It starts right 3 feet from the edge of the closet, and then it goes 3 feet. The depth of the reception desk is 3 feet here, and then it's 5 feet down by 12 feet 6. So I'm going to quickly draw this guy here. Let me put it on my other screen, and let's see here. So let me track down 3 feet. Okay. And this will be on millwork. I'm drawing it on my furniture 2 layer. So it comes down 5 feet and then it goes across 12 feet 6. And then it comes up 3 feet. And then it comes over 3 feet in this direction. And then I'm not exactly sure how much it comes down. It comes down some distance here, some distance here, and then I'll just fill it this. And then I have a 36-inch radius right here. So I can use fillets for that. And when I'm in the fillet tool, I can come down here to radius, change my radius to 3 feet or 36 inches, 36. And then I can fillet that. And then I have a transaction top. Transaction top is, I was just explaining transaction tops the other day, my CAD 1 class. When you go to a reception desk, there's often a higher piece that's on the customer side so that you can sign in or you can, put your elbows down as you're working or as you're talking to the receptionist. And transaction top is usually 12 inches deep. So I'm just going to offset 12 inches. And there is my reception desk, and I'm going to put this all on my millwork layer because it's going to be custom made by the millworker. So I'm putting that on the millwork layer. And I need a little chair for that person. Let me go back to office furniture and give them a task chair. Okay, so yada yada yada. We're getting the furniture in. I think you have an idea of what's going on here. But now let's just say that we, as the furniture people, we're done. So let's say I'm going to save my furniture plan. And then I call up my interior designer. Hey, Paul, I finished my furniture plan. Do you want it? Yes, please. So email it to me. So you plop this into an email, you send it over to the interior designer who has the partition plan. So now I'm on my partition plan and I want to bring in the furniture in onto my partition plan. So I'm going to do pretty much the same thing that I did for when we brought in the partitions. I'm going to bring in the furniture. So I'm going to start by creating an XREF. And I'm going to call it XREF dash, and I'm bringing in the furniture into my plan. So I'll call this furniture. Furniture or furniture plan, whichever makes you happy, either one. And I'll set that to my current layer. Close this. I'm on my XREF furniture plan layer. And now I am going to attach the furniture plan that my furniture dealer just emailed to me. So I will either type attach, or you can go over to insert and then come over here to this reference palette and then click on attach. Either way will get me this select reference file. So I am in my partition plan and I need to bring in my furniture, right? So I will select my furniture plan. Click open. And now I get this attach external reference. So this time I am going to, well, you know what? I'm going to leave it as attachment. I'll leave it as attachment. But I want to make sure that my scale is set to 1 and my insertion point is at 0, 0, 0. I want my insertion point to be exactly the same as my furniture dealer's insertion point was. And when we were on our furniture plan, remember, we set it to 0, 0, 0. So I'm going to do the same here. Set it to 0, 0, 0. I'll leave this at relative path, and then I will hit OK. And I'm getting a circular reference, and all that. What that means is my furniture plan referenced in my partition plan, and I'm bringing in the furniture plan that is referencing in the partition plan. So it's doing this circular thing. It's nothing really to worry about. So I'm just going to hit yes. And there, look at that. My furniture has come in exactly where it should.
I
So
have a quick question.
yeah, sure.
Did you do overlay or attachment?
I did an attachment.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
I also have a question. For some reason, when I try to put it to relative path, it keeps saying relative path cannot be assigned.
Huh. Um, I don't know. So what happens if you um so what options are you allowed?
It just says no path, relative, or full, but then when I click on relative, it just keeps saying like it's like a triangle, a yellow triangle with an exclamation point, and it says that relative path cannot be assigned.
So that's a first. I've never, okay, so all right, we'll try full path.
Yeah, it lets me do the full path.
Okay, so do the full path. Yeah. You know what? I need to Google that because I'm not sure. I haven't run across that. So thanks for bringing that to my attention.
Yes, no problem.
As
Thank
long,
you.
as long as you got it.
Yes,
So
I
all
think
right,
it,
let me
yeah.
let me go back to my furniture plan here for a moment. And you can see that all my walls are grayed out. And I just want to open up my layer properties here. And I'm going to take my XREF partitions. This is where I put my XREF for the partitions, and I'm just going to freeze that layer. Just going to freeze it because I just want to show you that like all of my partitions are gone. And the only thing that I've drawn on this drawing is this. And really, this is all that I'm sending to my interior designer. I'm the furniture designer right now. And this is all I'm sending to the furniture designer. Just the, just the furniture. But I am able to see my designer's partitions because it is on that XREF. So similarly, on the partition plan, I have all my partitions here. I can select my partitions and doors and everything. And when I select my furniture, it's all connected together. That is an external reference. So all that's coming in on that XREF, on that furniture plan XREF is the furniture. Okay, so this looks great. Let's set up a new sheet. So I've got right now, I have my building shell, and that has just the shell of my building. I have my partition plan, and that has just the partitions in my building. And now I need a new sheet for my furniture. So I'm going to make a copy of the furniture plan. I'm going to right click on furniture plan, go to move or copy, and then I will create a copy and move to the end. And what this move to end means, it puts it at the end back here at the, at the end of the row of tabs there. And I'll hit OK. And now I have furniture plan 2, and I can already see my furniture on here. Let me rename this so it makes sense. Furniture plan. And let me update my title block. Oop, too fast here. Put this on sheet 3. Okay. So this looks good. What I don't want to see on the furniture plan is my dimensions for the partitions. The furniture people, when they're installing this furniture, they couldn't care less that this wall is 11 feet long. They do not care. They don't want to see it, so I don't want to show it to them. So I'm going to go into white model space here, and I'm going to freeze those dimensions because I just don't need to see them here. And I think that looks pretty good. Oh, let's change this to furniture plan. Now, let me go over to my partition plan here, and let me play with my layers here. Um, Everything is on.
Hey Paul, I have a question.
Yeah. Yes.
When I go to freeze my Anno Dims layer in the viewport, it's also freezing my furniture, even though that's on a different layer.
Does it only freeze the furniture?
No, it's freezing the dimensions and the furniture.
Hmm. So on your furniture plan, is your dimension, are you showing dimensions?
Yeah, on my furniture plan, I have the Anno Dims and the Anno Dims New, and I'm going to freeze them on the furniture plan viewport, and it's also getting rid of my furniture.
Which sheet are you on? Are you on your partition plan sheet or your furniture plan sheet?
Furniture plan.
You're on furniture plan. Okay. And when you freeze the dims here, the furniture freezes?
Yes.
So what layer is your furniture on? So
The
iFurn
like
2.
the yeah, I fern two and the ones that you did during class.
Okay, and when you select the XREF, what layer is the XREF on?
Oh, do one wait.
It's a pretty common mistake to accidentally put the XREF on a layer other than the XREF layer.
Hold
So
on. I might have figured it out.
what
I
was
think
that?
I think I might have figured it out. Were you, when we copied and pasted a new sheet, were we on the partition plan or the furniture plan?
Well, when I created a new sheet, I was on the partition plan.
Okay, okay, so that's what I did too, so never mind. When I select the XREF, are you referring to on model space?
Okay, all right, so when you are on, okay, well, let's start with are you on the partition plan right now?
Yes.
Okay, so let me go into black model space. So when you select the furniture, all the furniture highlights, right?
Hmm.
And then when you go to your home ribbon, what layer is the furniture on? Does it say XREF furniture?
No, it says Anno Dims New. Okay.
Ah, there's
That's funny.
okay, so it's a very that I'm actually glad that you made that faux pas because it's very, very common to accidentally put your XREF on the wrong layer. So be super careful, everybody. When you're bringing in your XREF, make sure that's why we created that layer. So make sure it goes on the XREF furniture layer. Is everything working for you now properly?
Think so. I'm trying to change it to the XREF furniture plan layer, but wait, it might work now.
So just select the furniture and then just go to here and then just put it on XREF furniture.
Okay, yay. It worked. Thank you.
Okay, good. So bottom line, now we should have three drawings, a building shell that shows the existing conditions of our space before we actually touch anything. It's just showing all of the perimeter walls, the columns, the spacing, all of that good stuff. Then we have the partition plan, which is showing all of our construction that we're adding to the space, all of the partitions, glazing, windows, everything that we're adding. And then we have our furniture plan, which is locating all of the furniture on our plan. Next week, we're going to do ceilings. So we're going to do a reflected ceiling plan. And that also is going to be on a new XREF or a new drawing, and it's going to XREF in both the furniture and the partitions. So because our electrical engineer or electrical designer, they need to see the partitions and they need to see the furniture because they want to place the lighting where the furniture, where we're putting the furniture. So that is our adventure for next week. So your goal for next week is, and there's actually nothing due for next week because I'm going to have you turn in the partition plan, the furniture plan, and the ceiling plan all at the same time. So right now we've got our partition plan. Today we did the furniture plan. Next week we're going to do the ceiling plan. Okay? So plot along. I mean, this is pretty, I know, this is pretty easy for you all. You should be able to get through this pretty easily. And then next week we'll do the ceilings. Any questions, issues, problems?
Did we freeze the furniture plan on the other plans?
I'm sorry, did we freeze the furniture
Should
plan?
we freeze the furniture plan on the building shell and partition plans?
Are you seeing the furniture plan on the building shell and partition plan?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you are, good question. Go into white model space and then open up your layer palette and then find the furniture plan and then freeze it, do a viewport freeze and freeze it in that layer or freeze that layer. So yes, you should do that.
Okay, thank you.
And mine just for whatever reason mine is doing it automatically. Okay, so you may have this type of situation. So if you have this kind of situation where I'm on my building shell plan and you're seeing the furniture, it's not a problem. Don't worry. Just go into your layers, find your XREF furniture plan, and then go over to viewport freeze and freeze it. And it will be gone. Same with the partition plan. Oh, now I'm seeing it here on my partition plan. So I'm in white model space. I'll just go to layers, go down to my XREF furniture plan and freeze it. And now I'm only seeing partitions. Good question. Thank you for asking it.